aka Charlie Sheen, is the newest documentary film on Netflix. And boy, oh boy, this was quite a ride that I went on to watch this documentary. There are two parts, episode one and two. Episode one, oh man, I already knew certain things about Charlie Sheen, but again, when it comes to a movie, you learn so much more. In episode one, oh man, the part where Charlie says that he was flying a plane while being drunk and there were like 300 passengers. I'm like, this guy's crazy. But that was wow, unbelievable stuff. His family, him and his family, they lived in Malibu, California. It was cool that they showed them when they were young, when they were little, recording Super 8 camera films. It was the first time that I saw Charlie Sheen getting choked up while getting interviewed. He choked up talking about the bond that he has with his father, Martin Sheen. And one of the things that stood out to me about this documentary overall is how much his family stuck with him through the ups and downs. His brother Ramon, Emilio Estevez, Martin Sheen, they really never gave up on him, especially Martin Sheen. Even though Emilio and Martin, they didn't appear in the documentary, but we know how they feel about him. His brother Ramon, who basically looks just like Emilio and Martin, especially Emilio, he appeared in the documentary. Interesting. Charlie Sheen was supposed to be the lead role in The Karate Kid instead of Ralph, but Charlie, he took his dad's advice about keeping your word in the industry because he already made commitments to someone else. So it's never good to like give someone a word and then back out. So he listened to his father, and the role went to Ralph Macchio. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise for him because that was not a career suicide. Charlie Sheen went on to be part of other films. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I feel like that was the movie, especially that one scene, that changed the trajectory of his acting career. Because from there, it led him to Major League, Platoon, Wall Street. He was on fire in the late 80s. The crazy stories of Charlie and Nicolas Cage hanging out are comical. There was an intervention with Charlie Sheen's family and him because, he was out of control. That's something I did not know before, and we learned about it in this first episode. Charlie Sheen, he received a star in the Walk of Fame in 1995. I was surprised and I was happy to see Chris Tucker make an appearance in the documentary. Money Talks is one of my favorite Chris Tucker and Charlie Sheen films. Chris Tucker said that Charlie was loyal to him from the start. A funny part about this episode is when Charlie Sheen put an icebox on his rear end while filming Free Money, and he did that to keep him awake while filming. That is insane. Now I gotta see that movie so I could spot that scene. Another interesting part is when Charlie Sheen talked about watching the Game 6 of the 1998 finals when MJ hit the final shot. He will never forget that day because that was the date that became his new the new date of him being sober. But I thought that was interesting that he mentioned that part of Game 6. In episode 2, it dives into his relationship with Denise Richards, which I was surprised that she made an appearance. His third wife also made an appearance in this episode. You also see the behind the scenes and the story about the success of 2.5 Men, and how the success of 2.5 Men was getting to Charlie, to the point where pressure was getting to him, and it was also affecting his family relationships. You also Spin City was kind of like a rebirth for him. Michael J. Fox, he left the show after a couple of seasons, and then Charlie took his spot. And Charlie ended up winning his first and only Golden Globe. He said in the interview, in the documentary, that was the only major award that he's won throughout his career. And of course, you had his moments of winning. He has Tiger Blood, which all became viral in 2011. And I like the way the documentary ended when the filmmaker asked him like how he would describe his life in one word. And he said gratitude. And Charlie Sheen is someone that he definitely should have a lot of gratitude, because there's people in his life that really stuck by him, especially his childhood friends and his family. I mean, and even Denise Richards, like, even though they're not together and she went through a lot of hell because of him, she still has love for him. And it was nice to see that his kids, he still has a bond, especially with his daughters. So he's a person that he's definitely should be grateful. And so far, he's 7-8 years sober now. So hopefully he can continue to keep that up. This documentary, I mean, there is something about this documentary that comes across as being sensationalized, but at the same time, he doesn't hold nothing back. He throws it all out there in terms of the people that he was connected, the people that, you got to see a little bit of everyone there. It would have been much more, even better, had Emilio and Martin had participated, but I respected that they declined to be in the documentary. Overall, this documentary, from 1 through 5, I'll give it a 3.8 out of 5 stars. It's not the greatest documentary, it's not one of the best, but it's an interesting one in the sense that you get to learn about not just Charlie Sheen, but also behind the scenes of the movies that he's made, the other people that were in his life and that are in his life. And you got to see a little bit more about his kids and what they're doing. So there's that. But yes, aka Charlie Sheen. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend that you should check it out.